I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future, and instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be. Success is not an event. Far too many people, like you and I, focus on an outcome, a goal, something that we're going to do that is finally going to make us feel successful. It's going to finally make us feel accomplished or like we've achieved. And here's the challenge for people like us, is that so many of us have been sold this bill of goods that if we achieve something, if we make something happen, we're going to feel so much better. But the challenge is, if you watch the average entrepreneur, especially a successful one, as soon as they accomplish some type of a milestone, they're on to the next one. It looks something like this. Oh, I can't wait until I make enough money to support myself as an entrepreneur. Well, now that I'm supporting myself, I can't wait to make 6 figures. I'm making 6 figures. I would love to make 7. I'm making 7 figures. I can't wait till I'm making multiple millions. I'm making multiple millions. Now I've got to make 8 figures. I'm making 8 figures. I wonder if I can crush 50 million. I hit 50 million. Now I want to hit 100 million. We don't stop. Entrepreneurs don't have a success outcome. We don't have a success event. Too many of us have been sold that this is what we want. And here's the challenge. You know this and I know this, that for people who are hardwired like the two of us, as we approach a goal or a deadline, as we approach that outcome, as we are achieving, as we get closer, as we're finally making it happen, you and I both know that as we move closer to the actual goal being real, it loses importance to us the closer we get. In fact, as we cross the finish line, there's typically very little, if any, feeling left. Why is this? Why is this that people like you and I don't experience this feeling of success? Why is it that people like you and I, as soon as we achieve, are driven back, not for the same, but for more achievement? Why is it that people like you and I have been told success is an event, but then when it happens, we just don't feel it? There is a very clear reason. Because you and I are evolutionary hunters. We are that small percentage of the population that goes out into the future, creates a new reality, comes back to the present, and makes it real. And the challenge is that millennia of evolution, thousands of years, every moment that our type of human being has been on this earth, evolutionary hunters since the beginning of time have been programmed not just to kill, but to get up and kill again. We are not programmed to stop. We can't turn it off. We don't slow down. Our entire life is about going forward. Why? This is an evolutionary survival instinct. If we stop, the tribe dies. And we are propelled forward with that level of emotion, that level of commitment, that level of invisible force pushing us forward. And that force is the strength of every evolutionary hunter throughout history who stood up and made things different, who declared things could be better, who said that they could improve the world around them, and who faced the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. That is who we are. And so when we go looking for the event, the time, the place, the moment that is going to finally make us feel successful, I want to tell you something. You are on a fool's errand. It's never going to happen. You're not going to find it. It won't be there. And you will continue to chase it for the rest of your life if that's what you choose to do. Or you can accept the fact that you're an evolutionary hunter. We don't slow down. The actualization for us, the feeling of success for us, the feeling of being alive is not when we are achieving the hunt, but when we are in it. When we are pursuing an outcome with the people around us, when we have a tribe that is supporting us, when we are moving forward, when we are achieving, when we are making things happen and we have perspective along the way, that is when we feel successful. See, success isn't an event for us. Success is a state of being called momentum. And if anyone tries to sell you anything different, you should run from them because they don't understand people like you and I. See, the thing that makes us feel like we are connected and alive and present is creating that hunt with a clear outcome of the contribution we want to make, of the change we want to make, the business we want to build, the outcomes we want to create in the world. When we have clear understanding of what we're doing, the accountability to know that if we do the right thing, we're going to move forward. And when we have transparency, a scoreboard, perspective on whether we are moving forward or not, that is when we feel success. Because for us, success is that place of creating forward momentum and moving towards the light at the end of the tunnel and knowing that the outcome you can create and no one else can is coming closer, and understanding that you are going to make the change you know should be in the world. That is when we feel alive. And the fact about being someone like us is that as we move forward, as we gain experience, as we live, we must move the target forward because people like us are programmed to continually do more, create more, contribute more, and make our tribe stronger. And when people like us get confused, get deterred, get dissuaded, so often it's not from a lack of success. In fact, recently, very publicly, several very highly successful people took their own lives. People just like you and I. When I'm speaking, I often share that I believe more entrepreneurial personality types are in drug rehabs or hospitals or early graves than running successful businesses. And it's because we live in a world where the systems not only don't support us, they actually break us. We live in a world where people expect us to react emotionally to things that we just don't. We live in a world that has not been made for us, but made for everyone else. And we live in a world where we are often expected to show up and act and appear in a way that is not how we actually feel. And it is through admitting that, it is through getting clear on the fact that achievement means something different to you than everyone else. It is through getting very in touch with the fact that you will never stop and you will always be going forward. It is through understanding that as hunters, we never stop, that you'll realize that this existence, this life, this opportunity every one of us has is about creating as much progress and as much contribution and as much improvement in the world around us as we possibly can. And when we are doing that, we feel alive. We feel connected. We feel like we tap into source, into that higher power, into God, into whatever means something to us. When we are creating that progress, that outcome, when we are moving forward, when we're affecting those around us, when we're making the world improve, that is success to us. And I want you to know something. You can live there, not visit. You can be there all the time, not sporadically. Success, that feeling of momentum, having the right people around you, the right outcomes around you, the right accountability, the right transparency, having the processes and systems that support you moving forward every single day can be there for you from now and forever. And you never, ever have to feel like you are unsuccessful again. Because when we realize that it is the process, not the out result, when we realize that it is what we do on a daily basis, not just the outcomes, and when we realize that as evolutionary hunters, when we are on the hunt, with our tribe, when we are in pursuit of outcomes, that is when we feel most alive. We connect to who we are, our essence as human beings, and we change the world. Success is not an event. Success is a state of being for people like you and I. Success is who we are if we are really willing to answer the call. Don't let anyone ever make you believe that success is a point in time and that you can't live there. Because from the very foundation of who you are, that is who you are meant to be. We want to help you get there. I want to help you experience that day-to-day momentum, that day-to-day success, that feeling of being supportive and alive, that feeling of making your outcomes in the world. And it starts with us taking care of ourselves. Your path to success from this point forward as an evolutionary hunter is through you taking care of yourself. You are the most important person in your business. And if you can't admit that to yourself, you have to get very clear that that is an absolute fact. And as soon as you start supporting yourself and taking care of yourself and putting the systems and routines in place where you succeed, that is the path to being in this place of actualization and never getting out. And I want you to adopt a daily habit. I want to share with you my morning routine, something that has completely changed my life as an evolutionary hunter. I've been obsessed with routines for most of my career. But when you have a scientifically developed, thoughtfully constructed, logical morning routine that supports your body and your physiology through the 4 pillars of success, which are breathing, hydration, nutrition, and movement, everything in your life will change. And I want to give it to you for free because far too many people like you and I are living a life that is less than successful. Far too many people like you and I are not in momentum. Far too many people like us are allowing the small details, the electronics, the distractions, the things that happen in the morning, throw them off and they never get back on the hunt. And I don't want that to happen to you. So take a minute right now and do this. Stop this podcast, go to your browser and type in morning.charfen.com and get my morning routine. Give us your first name, your email. We will send out the morning routine to you and you can start using it tomorrow morning because this is the decision you're faced with right now. Are you going to make the decision to leave everything the same, or are you going to make the decision to go to morning.charfen.com and radically improve every morning from this point forward so that you can move towards that state of actualization, that state of momentum, that state of success for people like us of creating it on a daily basis? Go to morning.charfen.com. Download my routine. Let's get you into momentum. And remember, that is what success is for people like us. It's not an event.